Hello, everyone. On today's IRS Tax Refund update, we have the latest numbers just released by the IRS on the current tax return backlog, so we'll take a look at that. We'll also check in on the status of those amended returns for a number of you that are still waiting. If you received a 60-day notice from the IRS, most likely as a result of waiting on the IRS still needing to process your employer's wage information, we have an update on the employer tax return backlog, and we'll take a look at several other delay issues you may be encountering. Now, starting off with the latest update from the IRS on the current tax return backlog, with the total amount of unprocessed tax returns finally below 3 million to now 2.5 million, which means in the last week 600,000 e-file and paper returns had been processed and completed. Of the 600,000 amount, 500,000 were paper tax returns, and the remaining 100,000 were e-file returns and those requiring special processing. Back on November 25th, that number was at 3.2 million remaining. For those of you waiting on amended tax returns, we did see another 100,000 processed in the last week, dropping that total number of unprocessed amended returns down to 600,000. Back on November 25th, that number was 800,000, so we're seeing about 50,000 of those processed in a week. As a reminder, if you're still waiting on your amended return, to check the amended refund status tracker on the IRS website and not the regular Where's My Refund tool. For those of you still waiting on the IRS to process your employer's wage information before the processing of your tax return can be completed due to wage verification, the total amount of unprocessed employer tax returns has dropped to 770,000. Now, that is roughly a drop of 500,000 in just the last week, so significant progress has been made on those. However, we did see a slight increase in the amount of unprocessed employer amended returns, which rose to 347,000. Moving on to those tax refunds, as of December 21st, direct deposit refund batch has been released and transmitted to banks nationwide for those who are part of the assigned refund batch. While most will receive it the day of, there have been some instances where it is taking an additional day or two to post to some people's bank accounts. However, do allow up until December 27th to receive that in your bank account before initiating a payment trace. Meanwhile, the next direct deposit refund batch is scheduled for release on December 26th, according to the IRS refund status results seen here, while the next round of paper checks will be released on December 23rd. To confirm if you're part of this latest refund batch, do check your tax transcripts for the most up-to-date information. We continue to get reports from viewers of receiving additional 60-day notices and expect that will carry over into the new year. As we reported, there are still over 770,000 employer tax returns that remain unprocessed, and that will have a direct impact on a number of taxpayers waiting on the returns to be completed due to wage verification. Now, those returns in the last week have gone down significantly, and in less than a month, 1 million have been processed. If you're a paper return filer and are encountering the star symbol when checking the status of your tax transcripts as seen here, as well as a verification of a non-filing of a tax return letter, that is going to be expected until the IRS actually begins processing your tax return. Unfortunately, the IRS does not log paper returns into the system when they're originally received by mail, so the unprocessed return will remain untouched until an employee begins to manually enter it into the IRS system. Also, for paper filers who are encountering this error message when checking the status of their tax refunds, this too is going to be expected until the IRS begins the processing of your tax returns and does not mean they lost your tax return. Now, if you're an e-filer and are getting this message, this could be of some concern, and it is advised to check that the IRS accepted your e-file submission when you originally submitted your return. If you're encountering error code 8028 when attempting to log into the IRS website, this too is being encountered on multiple occasions, and several of our viewers reported the problem went away in a few hours to a few days. Those who reached out to the IRS about this particular problem were unable to get assistance from a phone representative in resolving this issue. Now, as we quickly approach the new tax season, we will begin to focus reporting on the latest information on those new tax filings, including weekly updates of exactly how many tax returns were submitted versus how many were processed. However, we will continue to report on the 2022 backlog until it has been cleared out, including amended returns. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax refund issue, including when and how you filed your tax return. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.